Hi everyone, Dee's from Turtle Dove. How's everyone doing? I'm here to play around with these wax melts and accessories that I am reviewing from DIY Digital Art. So I have everything here, and this is my own. I've already had this in my stash. So that is just the burner, and you use a little tea light, which I will light up now, and the wick is a little bit high on that. I don't want the flame being too high, otherwise it's going to be too hot. So I've got my matches and I'll just light that up. So I've just got some wax paper. Well, actually it's not wax paper, it's baking paper, just so that when you need something to lay the wax on, just centre that, put that right over there. Now I've got everything ready, so hopefully I have remembered what I need. So I've taken all my fabrics off my table. This is a really old table, so it doesn't matter if it gets messy. I've got my wax beads here, or wax drops, whatever you call them. This is the stamp that I received from DIY Digital Art, and the spoon, and I've got my own spoon here as well. And I've got plenty of paper, kitchen paper this is actually, just to wipe off any old wax from the spoon before I change colours. And I've got my stirring spoon here. I'm going to try using these little sequins. It's actually called powder, but I'm going to try some of those. Now, let's get this going, and I think the first colours I'm going to use, actually just one thing before I do that, this is all metal and I don't want to risk, while you're holding it, my hands getting too hot, because it is all going to get quite warm. So I'm going to cover that with a bit of washi just right on the end. I didn't think of that when I chose the spoon. The one that I have has a wooden handle. They do have different spoons on the website, and they have, I'm pretty sure they have the wooden handle ones as well. So just be aware of that if you get a complete metal spoon, that the tip may get too hot to handle, just depending on what you're doing yourself. So I'm just going to safeguard that from happening, and I'm just putting it on the tip. So that might be a little bit of a tip for you, heads up for you, just from experience. I haven't done an awful lot of wax sealing, but I do have, I'm pretty sure I have a video either on my ASMR channel or here at Turtle Dove. There we go. So I've got something to grip if it gets too hot. Okay, so I'm going to place that down and decide on the colours. Now I'm going to try and do a marbled effect. Or actually, I'll do the marbled effect the second time round. So let's do a solid colour, and I'll do a nice dark colour. we'll do this beautiful green, like a metallic green. So I haven't done this for a while. I'm not sure how many is a good number to put in, so I'm just going to try 4. Or maybe 3 actually. The spoon's not too big, so I don't want the spoon overflowing. I can always add more to it. So I've just got a bit of newspaper under there, and then just put the baking paper over the top, and that way once you've pressed the wax down with the stamp and it's cool, it's just going to come off quite easily. So I love this little stirring spoon. And once I've stamped them and they're cooled down, I'm going to try out these markers. So I want to try the square stamp first, which is from DIY Digital Art, and then I have 3 of my own that I think this one was from Big W, and these 2 I just bought on eBay. So this one is a pretty heart. This one's a boy and girl kissing with a little heart on the top. And then this one is a rose. Okay, so that's not taking too long to melt. I'll give that a little bit of a stir in a little bit. Yeah, just as well I didn't put the 4 in. I guess start with the least amount you think you'd need. This spoon's not as deep, so hopefully that's not going to be too much, but you can, if you don't have a stirring stick, use a toothpick, which I'll grab a couple. Got my toothpicks here as well. And I'll just get a sheet of paper ready. This is just kitchen paper, just for cleanup. So I'll use this stirring stick for the marbled effect, and I'm just going to use my toothpicks to stir this one. Now let's see if that handle's hot. It's actually not too bad, that handle. So let's give that a stir, because I think it's all melted now. Yes, it is. Look at that colour. Beautiful. Okay. Let's pour that out over here. And then just let it sit for a minute. Not too long, but then you don't have to press this hard down. All you do is sit that on the top like so. And then, while this is still hot, you can clean the spoon. And just be careful, fold it over because it is warm. And then we can put some more colours in. So another solid colour, let's do purple. Put 3 in there. That one's 2 stuck together. And then with that one, once that's melted, I'm going to put some of this on, or in there. And I'm just going to use some tweezers to pick some of that up. Now, while that's melting, let's see how this one turned out. It just comes away so easily. There we go. Isn't that pretty? So I'll just put this over here. Move that right away because I don't want to spill that. Get a few of these toothpicks out, and that's in readiness to stir. It doesn't take long to melt, really. Is that getting... It's just warm now, the handle, so it's still good to hold without worrying about burning yourself. That's just got a little bit more to melt down. Just go slow and be careful so you don't spill things or burn yourself. And I think after that one we'll do a marbled look. And I might use the heart for the marbled look. Okay, so that's that done. Get another towel ready. Now with this one, I'm going to pour it and then grab some of those little sequins and just sprinkle that on the top. So I'm going to use the match, or not the matchstick, the toothpick, just to help pour all of that out. Spread it around a bit because I'm using a square one, and quickly before it melts, and then that one wanted to slide away. Now I'm going to just clean this up. And this is a lot hotter now, so just got to be very careful. Okay, so because I want to do the marbled effect, I will put 2 pink and 1 white. See how that goes. And while that's cooling down, I'm going to use this marker and just carefully highlight the high parts of the design. Look at that. Look how much nicer it looks. Wow. You can do just part of the design, or you can carefully cover all the design. Oh, you don't have to shake this one. So So that just brings everything out. It just looks so much better using this. They look nice without them too. I mean, you don't need them, but look at that. Very pretty. So that's our first one done. Let's see this purple one. Oh, that's pretty as well. Look at that. You can see some of those sequins in there. And I might just use a marker on the outside, the little bamboo pieces on the outside of the design, because I've got a lot of sparkle in there. So don't want to take away from that too much. It's just personal. I love playing around with wax melts. Look at that. Isn't it pretty? So let's do this marbled look, and I think I'm going to use the heart stamp this time, which is my own that I bought from eBay. And I'm going to use this little stirring stick from diydigitalart, and I'm just going to give it, I might work closer to me this time, it wants to slide away there. I'm just going to give this a little swirl, and that's all. Oh, didn't get my paper ready. Now let's pour it. Oh, this one's much better than using the toothpick, but if you don't have this stirring spoon, definitely use a toothpick. Put that back there so that doesn't harden. And quickly clean that spoon before it hardens on there. And just let that sit for a second. Maybe next time I could use 2 whites and 1 pink. We'll do that again. There we go. Just let that sit for a moment. I'll clean this one up. I think I'll use 2 whites and a purple for the next one. And there's the heart. And that's the colour. So some of it now looks slightly orange or a lighter pink with the pearlescent white, and then the original solid pink there. Now let's put some of this silver marker on there. I'm just going to go around the heart carefully. Very pretty. Might as well choose our next colours. I'll do one more heart and then might use the rose stamp next. That's the heart. Actually, you know what? Okay, get my paper ready. It's melted by the looks of it. Just give that a whirl. Don't have to do too much. So just pour that out. Put that back. Fill up your spoon. And then I'm going to let it sit for another 30 seconds or so, I think. While I'm doing that and waiting, I'm just going to give that a quick wipe and we'll put the next colours in. So you could have 2 of these going at once if you wanted things to go quicker, but you don't want to get overwhelmed, that's for sure. Okay, that should be ready now to place the stamp on. Okay. I don't think 2 will be quite enough, so I think just by the looks of them, 3 will be plenty. 4 in this spoon will be too much. I think maybe in this spoon is a little bit deeper, so you may be able to put 4 of the wax drops in that one. But start with the least and then work up, that way you won't get in trouble. Get my next paper ready. Bring up. This one doesn't want to come off right away. I think it's still a little bit, there we go, pliable, but look at that. And that's the back. So it looks nice even without the markers on there, but I'm going to put some more silver on this one. And these are good for embellishments and obviously for posting, sealing the envelopes. You could seal it straight on an envelope to close it, the old-fashioned way. There we go. So that one's ready now. And I'm going to use the rose. That one I bought from eBay a long time ago. So just give it a little bit of a swirl. Pour it all out. Clean the spoon. Going to use the other end of this and move that over a little bit more. There we go. Just let that sit. You don't have to push it down at all. Oopsie. Now see, this is why you've got to use an old table. I was lucky that it wasn't full of wax. Now it's getting quite hot, but I'm still able to hold, even though it's been on the heat, I'm still able to hold it. So that's why I think it's important to trim your wick down as well, because otherwise that would be much hotter. So let's see what colour next. Let's do yellow. Yellow and do a pearlescent white. Okay. Well, this one turned out really pretty. You can just see some of that pink. You can see it more on the back. But I'm going to leave that one. I'm not going to use any markers on that. And the next one we'll do two pinks and silver. For the rose. So DIY Digital Art, they have so many different stamps, wax stamps, seal stamps as well to pick from. So I was on there quite a while trying to choose which one I wanted, but yeah, you could go crazy getting a big assortment of different stamps. And they do, where's the square one? They do unscrew, so you can interchange them. So just before you're actually stamping with them, make sure that they're tight on. Okay, so that one looks like it's done. Just a tiny little piece on the top. Give that a little swirl. And you can't see the white much on here at all. It's sort of turned it a bit gold looking more than anything. Like my spoon, stirring spoon. This is a really handy tool to have. And I think the rose is too busy. Oh, maybe we'll put a couple of this on. Let's put just a few pieces. Might be better just picking it up with your fingers, but okay. Clean that off, and let's do the pink and silver next. So you could have just a good afternoon, a fun afternoon playing around with these things, and there's all sorts of stuff that you can put in the wax. These are some old ones I did a long time ago, and you have those little gold flakes. You can put them in. This is just using glue stick. So I actually used the glue gun, put a blob on the wax paper and did it that way. Obviously they're not as pretty, and I'll put some of my own sequins in some of them. And the clear colours with this glue, this is where it would be good, because you can't see the design. So Now this is a different design. This stamp must still be sitting in my drawer somewhere. I'm just covering that design so you can see a little bit better. These are just swirls, and it says love. But the OV is covered because I've put some foil in there. There we go. See how much better that is with your marker over the design, especially that one. And this is the little boy and girl with the heart on the top, which you really can't see that design too well. But yeah, there's some of my older ones that I've done. This is pretty. You just see some of that sparkle from those sequins I put on the top. Okay. So let's put this one out. Shall we do the rose again, or let's do the boy and girl? Okay, so I might pause the camera here and go ahead and do a few more, and then I'll show you. But you get the idea of what to do. And you could even put a colour combo of 3 in the spoon. So I'll continue and I'll be back to show you all my stamps. Okay, about an hour later I am back, and I did quite a few. And they are beautiful. This square stamp design looks really nice on all the rich dark colours, especially finished off with the gold. So I'm really happy with how they all turned out. That one's got the little sequin things in them, and I did quite a few. I love this pink one. This one here I used, and the purple, and I think this one here, I used 4 of the wax melts, but after doing that I'm finding that 3 is my perfect number, because with this one, even though it's pretty and being the square shape stamp, I don't like these things here so much. Just makes them look too bulky, but I mean they're still really pretty, but I would just prefer with 3. So it's just a personal preference. Just play around and see what suits you. And also this spoon I didn't use as much, even with 4, because it's too deep and hard to clean after. So I did find the spoon from DIY Digital Art. It did fit 4 in there. I just had to be careful, and it didn't spill out. It's just, and I also found that if you over mix, you're going to get a lot of air bubbles. So the less you play with the wax, the better. That's just my opinion. And look at the silver with the gold. So that one has 3, even though it's a lot thinner and everything. This one has 4. And I just don't like how bulky it is on the edges. So they all turn out a little bit different. And then this is the only non-frosted colour I had, which is really nice and rich, and that really brings the gold out of that too. And then I did some roses. Now these two, this was using I think 2 of the bronze and 1 pink, and then this was 2 of the pink and 1 bronze, just to show up the pink more. But look how pretty they are. So yeah, it's just personal preference. I mean, it does look thin on some edges. Now, did I use 4 on any of these? I think I did. I think this is using 4. So it depends on the stamp. This probably would look better with 4, using 4 melts. But as I said, it's just personal preference. And these two I just left without any of the markers on there, because they look just as nice without, especially with the dark colours. And this is a nice deep yellow. So, and this one you've already seen, I think. That's the one with the sequins in there, little glittery things. And then this blue one looks really nice with the gold. So yeah, it just depends. If you don't mind a lot of this wax excess around the edge, sort of bulging up, I think it's just personal preference. And with the girl and the boy and the heart above them, I didn't like that stamp so much. That's not from DIY Digital Art. That's just, yeah, I just think it looks too, the design is too blocked. There's too much space, flat space on them. So this one here is not so bad. I think maybe it's because I used the marker on there, and I don't think it looks as nice with the marker. But again, that's personal preference. So I didn't do too many of those, and then I just finished it off with some hearts. Now this is what happens if you over stir. I mixed, I didn't mix any, actually this is the one colour, the green, but I stirred and stirred it, and a lot of air bubbles, so when I pressed down, that's what happened. And I also left this melted wax too long on the paper to cool before I put the stamp on there, and I think that's why it pushed the air bubbles out like that. So you've got to play around with the time that you wait before you put the stamp on the wax as well. And this one is with the silver and the green. And the silver and, actually no, that's the pearl white with the purple, which sort of makes it look silver. Then I finished that off with the silver marker. I got some wax on my nail polish as well, which is a bit annoying. I think I did that while I was cleaning the spoons. That's the blue one, and you can see a little bit of the sequin in there. So if you want to use this, whoops, just as well the lid was on. If you want to use this, do that last. Do all your other things first, the ones that you don't want any of this on, and then do that last. Otherwise you'll get this, they'll just show up everywhere. So I don't mind that, but that one's pretty as well. That's the pearlescent white with the pink mixed together, and then the silver marker on the heart. And that was only using 3. You can see they're a lot thinner when the, you know, definitely can't use more than 4 in this spoon. 4 is the limit. And I think you don't want to use under 3 either, otherwise it's not going to cover the design. So this one is great, the one that I've had for a while. It's a lot deeper so you can fit more in, but a lot harder to clean. Just takes a little bit more time to clean, that's all. And then lastly, I did this, just the pure pearlescent white with the little sequins in there, and I finished it off with the silver marker on the heart. So that is really pretty as well. That'd look nice for a wedding, for wedding invitations, on the back of a stamp. So that's it, guys. I really love everything, so I'll leave the link to DIY Digital Art in the description below. If you watch my unboxing of all this, that will take you straight to the links of each of these products. So I just love everything, and I could do this all day. Now I want to get some more colours. I want to get some more pastels and oranges and, you know, like apricots and, yeah, just pastel colours, and the non, what do you call it? The non-frosted. So, yep, really enjoyed playing around with these. So I'm going to put these in my stash and definitely use it, and they make good gifts as well. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.